everyone! Can I tell you a secret? I really like playing online games. There's just something about testing my skills against other people that keeps things fresh and holds my attention much longer than playing against the computer alone. But while there are a ton of options for attempting to pit myself against strangers online, certain games just do it better than others, for reasons you may not expect. In this video, I want to take a look at Splatoon 3 in particular, and why it might be the best online multiplayer experience out of any shooter available right now. You might have a ton of questions, but before we dig into it, let's discuss why a few other games don't really feel right to me. Specifically games like Halo Infinite, Apex Legends, and Fortnite. There's technically nothing wrong with any of these games. They're all competent games with plenty of depth, which I totally get why folks would spend dozens or hundreds of hours immersed within. It's just they don't quite feel that great as a solo player trying to jump into random matches. Regardless of game mode, Halo matches rarely feel like I'm a part of a coherent team. And Apex Legends is similarly awkward to just jump into and expect to click with strangers. A lot of the problem comes from the stress caused by the incentives of the games themselves. They, and many popular online games, prioritize group gameplay that's highly focused on coordinated destruction of the other team, where a lot of small mistakes can build up quickly. That often means voice chats provide an edge, and if you're not joining the game's chat, you might be screwing over your team. But the act of talking to strangers online or having them scream at you online is not fun for me. Not to mention the need for really fast, sometimes twitchy, gameplay that ramps up the anxiety of it all and sucks out all the enjoyment I might have. It takes a long time to get better at a game when firefights break out suddenly and I'm dead within a matter of seconds. Battle royales like Apex Legends are especially guilty of that, considering there's just way too much going on for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And you know, games don't really need to be stressful or self-serious. Fortnite really demonstrates this, but, well, it's Fortnite. I have a ton of fun playing it, but mostly because I can casually ride around the map on a motorcycle, avoiding everyone, and still wind up in the top 20, or watch a person build complex structures trying to run from me, only to have them blasted away and lose the game in the same breath. It's a lot of silly fun, but not necessarily what I want all the time in my competitive games. Enter Splatoon 3. If you skipped over the game when it launched a couple months ago, first of all, how dare you? Second, you're seriously missing out. But as a refresher, you play as a squid and use ink to either mark your territory or take out your opponents. The main mode pits you and 3 other strangers against 4 other folks in a 4v4 team battle. Whichever team inks the most turf wins. Beyond getting your ink down first, you also want to cover the opposing team's ink and try to eliminate members of the opposing team by spraying, splashing, or flinging as much ink on them as possible. The premise is simple, yet the many different main weapons, sub-weapons, special weapons, clothing options, abilities, and technical movement buffs provide a ton of depth and personalization than it might seem on the surface. You could play this game for dozens or hundreds of hours, absolutely annihilate the opposing team members by yourself, and still wind up losing the match because you didn't spend enough time inking the ground, your teammates really struggled, or while you were trying hard to splat everyone else, folks routed around you and completely covered your home base. It's an ever-changing game where no 2 matches are the same, and you have to worry about the main objective, inking, just as much as PvP, and I can't get enough of it. Wait, hold on. Team battles, lots of coordination between teammates, the threat of letting your team down. Didn't you say that's what you hated about the other games? Yes, but there's a key difference here. No voice chat. While you can always use the Switch Online app or a Discord server to connect with friends, Splatoon's mainly designed as a silent experience. In-game, you only get 3 communication options. This way to signal your team, booyah for fun, and ouch for whenever you're splatted and waiting to respawn. Otherwise, there's no real way for communication between team members. In the words of Splatoon 1 co-director Yusuke Amano before Splatoon launch, leaving out voice chat is coming from personal experience. While I played online games, I didn't like the negativity I got and people telling me, "You're crap, go away." So we wanted to focus on the positive aspects of online gaming. And that's pretty much what's emphasized in Splatoon 3 today. The game creates this environment where everyone's working toward a single goal, and every action you have at your disposal helps your team towards that goal. From the start of the match, you see what path your teammates are going down and just organically fall into place, backing up teammates, forging new paths into enemy territory, or sticking to the background to make sure the home turf is covered. Even when it seems like everyone is off doing their own thing, the act of each person progressing across the map helps tell other teammates where they can safely go while blazing a path for them to actually follow in your footsteps. There's a ton of implicit communication and signaling happening with each decision someone makes, and it's often much more informative than telling to yell out statuses through a microphone. In the dozens of hours I've put into the game already, what the hell moments where team members act completely against expectation are a rarity. There's always this sense of, we're all in this together, and even the least experienced person on the team isn't really singled out and shamed outside of just having less enhancements at the end of the match. It's a game where the camaraderie is palpable but silent, even if you're joining a match at level 1 just dipping your toes into the ink. That pressure of other games where I might feel like I'm failing my team with every bad move I make, or like I have to be at my best at every single second in match, is largely absent. To be fair, other games can be played completely silent, but they kind of miss the point. Apex Legends, for example, has a wealth of nonverbal communication options, but they're much more complex and try to jam a lot of context-specific cues into a few buttons. Eventually, when things get rough, those more complex options just fall away. In such detailed scenery where it can be downright difficult to even locate opponents, having even that shred of team cohesion fall away makes the experience less enjoyable. Meanwhile, Splatoon's environments are vibrant and clear. Even the tensest moments benefit from how well I can quickly identify who's on my team, what's going on, and where I need to position myself. Just opening the map can tell me how my teammates are doing and how much work we need to put in to pull off a victory. And when someone yells ouch from across the map, I know exactly where the enemy's coming from, even without laying down radar. That clarity, despite the technically reduced communication abilities, makes it so that the mechanics of the game get out of the way and I can just enjoy playing. Oh, and did I mention this game has 0 microtransactions to it? It's a full $60 game, which, I get isn't for everyone, but it means that there's no loophole or game designer trying to figure out the best way to wring an extra dollar from me at every turn. Instead, there's an insane amount of weapons and customization gained from just leveling up in the game. Each battle, win or lose, gains me at least some experience and money to eventually get better weapons and clothing. And it's not really a grind fest either. Progression happens fairly quickly up to higher levels, and you're not waiting forever to get something usable in battle. Heck, the gear you start with, while not the best the game has to offer, is more than adequate to rack up wins against any player with a bit of strategy, patience, and luck. Everyone's on the same playing field here. Whether you have a starter gear or hyper-customized gear, this game is all about skill expression, finding your role in the team, and just having fun. Now, it's not all perfect. While most matches are perfectly fine, Nintendo servers leave much to be desired for connecting with friends or preventing folks from having a dropped connection. Once inside the match, everything typically works well, but I have noticed a couple times where I've been splatted awkwardly due to a slight lag in the stream between me and one of my opponents. That probably plays into why maps aren't bigger or game modes are limited to a few at any given time. Most other online games do tend to have better infrastructure overall and lean on a variety of game modes to keep people interested, even if there's only one that most people actually pay attention to. But you know, these are minuscule compared to the vibrant visuals, deep gameplay, and just downright comfortable experience of playing Splatoon 3. While other games are packed with folks who seem like they desperately have something to prove, life in Splatoon is chill because we're all ultimately there to have fun. In my book, that makes it one of the best multiplayer games I've ever played. Thank you so much for watching. Are you also a Splatoon fan and want to share one of your stories? Is there another chill but deep online game you think I should check out next? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, click that like button to let us know, and then click the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on future video game content. I could honestly talk about Splatoon for so much longer. I just love it so much. Maybe I should finish that video on why Salmon Run is actually the best mode in the game. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, catch you later.